The RPG After Years is part of the We Can Make This Work Probably Network. Find out more at probablywork.com.
Welcome to the RPG After Years, your weekly show covering all things RPGs from the past, present, and future. This is episode 68. I'm Scott.
I'm Rich.
And holy smokes, Rich. It's been a little bit too long since we've been together. But never fear. We're going to get back and we're rocking and rolling with our E3 reactions because E3 happened somehow. So we're just going to jump right back into it.
I miss you.
But before we cover all that ish, let's catch up. Before we do that real quick, I just wanted to say that sorry that we didn't have an actual real episode for a couple of weeks. It's been a tumultuous time in, I think, definitely my life, but I think Rich's too.
Yep.
Our schedules were not lining up. Rich was no longer available on Sundays, which is when we normally record. And we just couldn't make it work. You know, life happens. But hopefully y'all enjoyed Rich's little bonus mini-sode thing he did.
It was just quick. Just want to tell you guys how we felt.
Just put some content.
I was lonely.
Some kind of content out there. But yeah, so I guess we'll talk about our life and catch up and shit in general. It won't take too long. But let's go ahead and kick things off. Rich, what have you been playing?
Oh, man, it's a big, big list. When I looked at it, I'm like, wow, I did not do much.
In the past 3 weeks, I already see what you wrote down. This is the only thing you've done in 3 weeks?
Yep.
Shame. Shame.
Yeah, I know, shame. But I did something just for you guys. First thing was I decided to play Dino Crisis. I love that game.
The first one?
I love that game. Yeah. I really like that game. It's just that feel of, or dinosaurs and like Capcom. It's a great one. I was really hoping for the Dino Crisis remake from Capcom, but nope, didn't happen. So I got the urge to do it.
Sky, Rich Dream. I mean, that would be. I would love that as well. I loved that first Dino Crisis game.
Now going back to it though, I'm starting to look at it as like, wow, this has just been reskinned Resident Evil.
That's Resident Evil, but dinosaurs. You're exactly right.
Yeah, it's just been reskinned.
Right.
So I'm having fun with that.
You haven't beaten it yet, right?
No, not yet.
I know that in that game you can pick like alliances, not alliances, but like you got two partners and you can kind of pick like which one. Who have you been siding with generally?
I've been siding with Rick. No, is it Rick?
Rick's the black one, right?
Yes. Yeah, I've sided with Rick. I've said fuck Gale because that guy's a tool bag.
Yeah, I think I like Rick better too.
Yeah, he's more funny. And he does the right thing, whereas Gale is like, he's got some shady shit going on.
I don't remember all the details, but he was definitely like the hard-ass guy. Like he would definitely, never mind, not going to say that. I almost said something political.
Don't do that. He would definitely be the person that would leave you to die. So, but yeah, so I've been playing that. I've been enjoying it. I did something just for you, Scott and Corey.
Just for us.
It's just for you guys. Plus, it's been everywhere. I've been seeing it all over the friggin' place. Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay, so how far are you?
I have done, I think, 3 temples.
What, like the main dungeons, or do you mean the shrines?
The shrines. Oh, okay. I guess. So I'm still very beginning.
You're still on the plateau then.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I've just been told to gather these spirits in order to get my paraglider from this old man that won't tell me anything. He's just like, you can get this paraglider. I'll give it to you if you get those 4 other temples done.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but just know that once you get that 4th spirit, then you basically get to leave the plateau, and then the entire world is open to you, and you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
A lot of people struggle with that because a lot of people don't like games where you're given no direction, I guess. But the game does give you like story waypoints. So like if you want to just go straight for the story, you can. That's not how Corey and I played. We like fucking, traversed the world and like slowly just did shit as we found it. But yeah. So what do you think so far though? I know you're still really early.
It's not bad. I mean, I shot those weird, what are the pig looking things?
Bokoblins.
Yeah, I shot them in the face with a bow and arrow a lot. That's kind of fun.
Well, yeah, that's cool.
I have killed myself several times.
I will also tell you that the beginning of the game is the hardest part, I would say.
Yeah. I've set myself on fire. I have fallen off a bridge. I have drowned. I have fallen off a cliff. And I have exploded myself. Okay.
Well, all Breath of the Wild players know your pain. So
yeah, it feels like a Dark Souls. I don't know if it's like a cartoony Dark Souls.
I guess I could see that. It's not that hard. Once you start amassing your equipment and you have all your runes, which you will by the time you end the plateau, it's like it just starts to seem not that bad, I guess, difficulty wise.
I mean, the puzzles and stuff aren't that hard in the shrines.
Yeah, you'll see. We'll see.
Oh, good.
But I hope you stick with it. I'm so
glad I'm doing this.
But if you like it, I hope you stick with it.
I kind of like it. It's not bad. It's my first real Zelda game I've ever played.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played a Zelda game. Like, I take it back. I think I've played the first one just briefly on my Switch, part of that whole, like, Nintendo Classic thing.
Yeah.
But that's it. I didn't really do much.
Okay.
So I can't really say I've played a full-blown Zelda game and beaten it. So
we kind of talked about this in the Discord, but that's kind of funny because Breath of the Wild is probably the least Zelda game there is.
I'm going to count it. I'm playing a Zelda game, so they can just bite me.
Absolutely.
So,
and we'll talk about Breath of the Wild a little bit more in just a bit. So
yeah, you're up now because I don't have anything else.
Okay.
I'm sad.
So I actually went easy on my list. I've said previously I want to stop talking about every single game I've played since last time we did this segment. So I just put the ones that I know that I played this week. So I've still been streaming Subnautica, and I know I've gushed about it on the podcast at least once before, I think. But dude, I love this game. I love it, love it, love it. And I'm not sure exactly why. I know part of it's because I love like marine life and underwater shit. But
you've been getting far in that stuff. I've seen some of the streams. I pop in when I can, and yeah, you're having a good time with it.
Yeah, I love it. And honestly, like when I'm not playing Subnautica, I'm like, can't wait till next time I get to play Subnautica because I'm streaming it, so I gotta wait. But I could talk for a long time about that game. Also been playing Resident Evil 6. Corey and I made it through the Chris's campaign. So we've done Leon's and we've done Chris's. So now we have Jake's and Ada's remaining. This is the longest fucking Resident Evil game of all time.
It is very long, for sure, because they break it out in chunks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got a weird-ass story to it.
It's unfortunate. I remember, not to dive too deep into it right now, but I remember before the game came out, it was like, oh, Chris and Leon are going to meet in this one. Ada's coming back too, and she's being falsely accused of shit she didn't do. And they're even bringing back Sherry Birkin, from the little girl from Resident Evil 2, who we haven't heard anything about in forever. And it's like, oh my God, this is going to be like the coolest Resident Evil story ever. And then it's not. And then it's not.
It's not at all. It's felt forced. Like, I did like Leon's stuff and reasons why and what was happening with that, and the president dies and all that. But it felt really forced.
Yeah.
So you haven't got to the ending yet, have you?
I finished Leon's and Chris's, but like I said, I still got the other two campaigns.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad because I can tell, like, the game is pretty polished for the most part, and you could tell they put a lot of effort into making this game. And it's just like they needed some more time in the oven. I don't know.
Yes, they did. They really did need more time, but they just kept going with it. They were hoping to make a story. The Sherry and Jake is his name.
Yeah. Wesker's
That
son.
was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden that pulls out Wesker has a son. Okay. Explain that.
Right. Hopefully it does. Like I said, I haven't played that part yet. Also been playing Final Fantasy II a little bit on stream. I just got past Deist Cavern. There's not a whole lot to say about the game. It's fine. I like it better than Final Fantasy 1. But it's not very exciting to play or watch. And I'm just like trying to get through it for my goal of, finishing every Final Fantasy. Been playing Disgaea for the podcast. Bill has already finished it several weeks ago. He keeps trying to delay the next Golden Years game for my sake so I can play it with him, which is...
What's the next one?
Live Alive. Or Live Alive, or whatever it's called. Which I'm actually excited to play, but at this rate, I don't know if I'm going to get there because I cannot finish this fucking Disgaea game because it's fucking hard and the grind wall is real. I can't do it. Well, I take that back. I can do it. I don't have the time to grind, is what I'm saying. I need to just be able to plow through the story, and the game won't let me.
It's not my cup of tea.
I like the game generally. It's just like the level curve is not fair. But I could rant about that all day. It's like the game is like forcing me to not like it, almost, if that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Been playing Pokemon Sword. I got through the Ala Armor DLC. Well, the first like 2/3 of it, and then I got through the post game main story, which I actually liked a lot. I thought that the post game story was like better than the main game story, kind of. And Corey started playing Paper Mario Color Splash, which is the one on the Wii U, not the new one. I kind of forced him to play that one before we got to Origami King because we've played all the other ones. And it's been fun. I think the game's generally cool, but it ain't what Paper Mario used to be. And I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but anybody out there who knows Paper Mario knows what I mean. Not to join.
I don't know anything.
Yeah, the opinion that everybody else has. We also started The Last Guardian, which is technically an RPG.
Okay.
If it would probably pass my RPG test anyway. I was really excited to play this. I have been for years, and this is the game that like was in development hell forever by the developers of the Shadow of the Colossus. Finally came out on the PS4, and it's okay. It's very beautiful. It's a very pretty game, but it doesn't play very well. I'm constantly like, now what the fuck do I do now? Even in the first couple of hours, I felt like I got stuck like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, I think I need to look it up.
Just look it up. It's fine.
But I'm going to keep plowing through that. Corey actually beat Persona 5 Strikers. I think my final thought on that game is kind of what I've been saying all along. I really liked that it was a true sequel to Persona 5, and it had a story and all that. Very polished Warriors game, but it just doesn't. The story doesn't really come together in the end for me. It didn't for me anyway, and it doesn't really stand up to how great the first game's story was.
But the thing is, though, like Corey beat it. He's not on the show right now for him to play the horn. So does
I'm
it
playing
count?
it for him. I still watched him play the whole thing.
Okay, fair enough.
And
he earns the honk.
Yeah, he said it that the gameplay was really fun, so I trust him on that.
Okay.
And then finally, we started hanging out with my hairstylist because we're like friends outside of me actually getting my hair did. And she really wanted us to play Days Gone. Apparently she loves that game. And so
it's not bad.
Yeah, I forgot you've played it.
I've played a little bit of it, not much.
Yeah.
So but what I've seen of it, it's been pretty good.
We're still pretty early on too. But it's better than I thought it was going to be so far. Just because in general, the feeling I get from everybody, the reception of to the game was like, it's okay.
I mean, I think it was a sleeper hit for a lot of people. So as you guys know, that there was a big deal with, Days Gone 2 was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they stopped doing that and did something else. And people were like really pissed off. And the director came out and said, if you like the game, why didn't you pay full price for it?
Yeah.
When it first came out. So
I think we covered that news story, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we did.
Because that was the same time that they announced the Last of Us remake or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I'm reserving judgment for now, but I'm liking it more than I thought I would, and that could be because my bar was not very high. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Now, since we did this last time, I've played other games, but those are the only ones that I decided to talk about this week. So, is there any life updates you want to share since it's been 3 weeks or anything like that, Rich? You don't have to.
I mean, I did my powerlifting meet last week. That did not go very well.
That's to say, I don't think you told me about that.
No, I did. I did not. I mean, I dropped. Okay, so it's perspective of everybody else. In the last year, I've dropped 40 pounds, like in weight. Everybody knows that. So I've dropped 3 weight classes. The last week, thank you. The last week before the competition, I decided for some God reason to cut weight a little bit more to get me on right to that 3rd weight class, the 181 pound weight class. When I was doing my big cut, like prior to deciding, like I think back in December, maybe January, I weighed 174. So, last couple weeks ago, I said, I'm going to try to do this, get back down to 180, 81 and see what happens. I'm not doing that again. I think that really jacked with me because I dropped 10 pounds in a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're doing like the crazy, like carb and water cycling shit though, right?
Somewhat. I mean, I drank 2 gallons of water a day.
Okay.
And peed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's fine. I still kept my food intake in. But I didn't do so good at the competition. I was able to try to match the weights that I lifted when I weighed 220 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of close. Theoretically, based on the Wilks score on how, like, based on what you weigh and how much weight you lift total, I'm stronger at my weight now than I was heavier.
Interesting.
By like 5 points. So I don't know. But now the goal is I've switched to bodybuilding. So with my trainer, the guy who does my nutrition, he now does my coaching for my bodybuilding stuff.
Interesting.
So the goal is to get bigger, to get back to 200 pounds.
I was about to say that for some reason, I've probably complained about this on the show already. I've gained like 15, maybe 20 pounds this year.
I don't know where you did that because I can't see it.
I appreciate that. But so now that I did that, we're almost the same weight.
But you're happy and I'm sad. So
well, yeah.
You get to eat what you want, whereas I'm over here daydreaming about pizza.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about muscle until I get to like the leanness that I want per se. So, I apologize if I've talked about this on the show before, but as far as my life updates, some crazy shit happened with me. I got a new job, but then like I managed to leverage that into keeping my current job with a raise and like 100% remote and all that shit.
Wait a minute. Hold time out. I don't remember that part. I thought you just got a new job.
It's possible.
Did we talk about that?
It's possible I didn't tell you, but I thought I could have sworn I did. But anyway,
you might have, but I missed it.
Yeah. So I got the new job, and because I was looking for a 100% remote job. That's been a goal.
Yes,
for
I knew that.
Years, and I never thought my current one would go that way. And the whole goal behind that was that so Corey and I can move to the beach, and so I got this new job. It seemed great. Went back and forth with it about whether or not to take it. I called my boss, who's been my boss for 8 years, ever since I got out of college. Great guy. And I turned in my 2 weeks, and he accepted it and all that. Very next day, he calls me saying, what if we can make you 100% remote today? You can move to Florida tomorrow if you wanted. And I was like, okay, I would be an idiot not to,
Yeah.
Because I've had, like I said, I've had this job for 8 years. I'm paid well, and it's there's things I don't like about it, but like with the raise and all the other like perks included, is like it would be insane not to. So I'm staying at that job, and Corey and I went to Tampa a couple weeks ago. I think that was the first, maybe the reason the first time we had to have the Patreon bonus episode.
Yes.
And we found a place, and we're moving it like just a few weeks from now, maybe like a month from now, July 23rd, something like that. So I will be your beach Scott soon.
He's moving further away from me. The chance of me seeing him is just decreased by like 10%.
You would have to fly regardless.
That's fine.
Just think about it this way. This time you get to fly to the beach and a pool. So
that's right. Hey,
yeah,
Rich in the tank top.
We're really excited, but like you guys know that I don't know. It's just the next little bit in the podcast might continue to be tumultuous. We're going to try to keep content rolling out, but just give us some grace, please.
Yes. This is something that you've been talking about for the last couple of years. Like we've talked about this for probably 2-3 years now. Of you moving?
Yeah. Moving
like
to
you've been
the
wanting
beach
to do
has been
it.
something I've been wanting to do like my entire life.
Yeah.
So just my current job is so good. It made it really hard to leave. And so it's like, it's finally happening. Like I'm so happy, you know?
Yay. I knew you were moving. I just did not know that you kept the other job. I think you might have said something, but I'm like, I don't remember talking about that at one point. I just knew that you got a new job.
You might have been working or something. And like I said, it's possible I forgot to mention it to you or something.
Unless Jay shows up there and says like, I don't remember you telling me that either.
Yeah. He knows because I talked to him a lot about like what was the right decision and shit because, you know, he's in the same field as me and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But
he's a good person to talk to you about all that stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of Jay, for those wondering, like when the hell are we going to see, are you going to hear Jay's voice again?
I killed him.
No. I didn't know that. No, Jay has completed his move. He's settled back in. Everything is hunky-dory as far as I know. We probably could have had him on today's episode if we wanted to and planned ahead of time. But the next couple episodes should theoretically be the World of Final Fantasy review. And so we decided, you know, let's just have like a clean break. After the World of Final Fantasy review, we go into our next era of RPG After Years or whatever, and we'll bring Jay back. So
is he going to join us with the RPG Club?
I haven't asked. I assumed so, but
because I knew he wasn't going to do the World of Final Fantasy because he was in the middle of that move stuff. So I miss him. I miss his long hair.
I feel like he would at least try it. Like, you know, as the hosts of this show, we're pretty obligated. Like, we would have to have a really good reason not to.
Wild arms. I just like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
That was my reason. But I've stuck together with the rest of them.
Yeah, actually, this is how bad of a co-host I am. You just gave me the perfect segue, and I almost missed it. RPG Club. So yes, the World of Final Fantasy RPG Club has concluded several weeks ago, and we have not done nominations, and we've even done our voting for what the next RPG Club game will be. For those that don't know, the RPG Club is like a book club segment that we do every other week. We all, as a community, including the listeners, play a certain section of an RPG, and then we talk about it in the show. So the voting actually ended up in a tie between Final Fantasy 13 and Secret of Mana. But
neither were my picks.
Yeah.
Again,
I think Bill nominated FF13, surprisingly, because he thought there was no chance it would win.
I thought that was Corey. Oh, no, it wasn't. Never
Corey
mind.
nominated 13, too. And Secret of Mana was nominated by Frost. But in the end, the winner was, by one vote, Secret of Mana. So, I'm actually kind of excited about this.
Me too.
Secret of Mana is one of those games that is kind of just like a revered, legendary RPG. I actually started Secret of Mana maybe about a month before the RPG Club stuff started. And I got, a couple hours in, and then I found out that Frost was planning on nominating Secret of Mana. And I was like, you know what? That probably has a decent chance of winning, knowing our audience, the listeners. And so I stopped playing. So far, I don't get it, if I'm being honest. I don't get why it's so revered. I don't know if it's nostalgia or what, but again, I'm very early.
Probably. I'm just mad that, again, my nomination for the 4th time has not been picked.
Breath of Fire.
This is bullcrap.
Was it even close? I don't remember.
No, but I didn't pick Breath of Fire this time because someone else beat me to it.
Oh, right. What did you nominate?
I nominated Ni no Kuni 2.
Oh, right. I thought you nominated the first one.
No, the first one, yes. I nominated the first one.
Yeah.
Because the second one's coming out for Switch and everything, and I kind of wanted to try it. I played a little bit of Ni no Kuni, but I stopped because I was like, oh, maybe I'll just nominate this for the club. And no one voted for it but me. Yeah. So, sad.
Sorry,
sad
Rich.
day.
I don't even think I voted for it. To be fair, the competition was fierce. Like,
it was.
The picks were good this time. I don't have them listed out here, but
they were good.
I had a hard time deciding what to vote for.
But we do need to make a little announcement to everybody. Once you vote, you cannot change your vote. Just throwing it out there.
And it turned out in the end that was Bill, by the way.
Okay. Well, again, Bill, you can't change your vote.
I put on my detective hat and sussed it
Figured.
out.
Oh, that British guy.
Yeah. But it was okay because I don't think that would have affected the end result anyway.
Yeah, but I feel like we should just, make sure we tell people that one more time.
Yeah.
Just
I need to remember to put that in the rules description. But, well, the problem is, if you can see on this poll thing that we do, that you can see what other people have voted, and you can see what each game's current total is. So, like, rather than vote what you want to play, you vote to make sure something you don't want to play doesn't get picked, kind of.
I did what I was told. I voted for 13 for Corey. I voted for mine, and then I voted for Breath of Fire 3.
Right. And if anybody knows of a polling service that lets you do dole out like 3 votes per person, but you can't see other people's results for free, let us know. Because the one we use is cool, but like it has a lot of features that you have to pay to use, which would solve all our problems, which I guess we could pay for, but fuck that.
Nah, we're not there yet. Give us more money.
Right.
Yeah, we
Speaking
will.
of, patreon.com. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So we're starting that this Sunday, Secret of Mana, starting that this Sunday. What day is that, Rich?
That would be the 27th.
The 27th, right.
Yes. But we don't have a checkpoint yet.
Yeah, we don't have a checkpoint, so we're still sussing that out. Pay attention to the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, look at our Twitter. We will announce it.
Go. Just do it.
Yep. And speaking of which, this isn't a news article, but I'll go ahead and mention it. Just today, Square Enix announced like a 3-hour live stream celebration of the Mana series' like 30th anniversary or some shit. It might not be 30th, but I don't remember. But they're going to be talking about the whole history, and I'm sure there's going to be some announcements. They're going to have like the original creators come on. And I might have said this already, but the crazy thing is it literally starts the day we start. They're having that the day we start the RPG club. So it's like, it was ordained. It was fate.
We foretold. Is there, okay, so Square Enix has been doing this, a lot of things where they've been picking old, like, series.
Yeah.
Like, Saga, Mana.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something coming.
There has to be.
I don't know.
Just not for Final Fantasy, which we'll talk about soon.
Yes.
But yeah, so play Secret of Mana. Specifically, I feel like I have to say, we're talking about the original SNES version. You can play the ports or whatever. If you really want to play the remake, feel free. However, I've heard it's a bad remake, so that's not what any of us will be playing. I wouldn't recommend it. But
I'm playing mine on the Switch.
Yeah, I got the Mana collection thing on the Switch too. That's what I'll be playing. But yeah. All right. It's been a minute. Sorry for the extended catch up and announcements and all that. You ready to do the news, Rich?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Hear ye, gather round for all your news. Stop your clatter and listen close. Alas, you won't believe your ears. Listen close for the news.
All right, before we jump right in here, Rich, just in general, what were your thoughts about E3? Like, do you think it was a good E3 or a bad one? Like,
man, this E3 was not that lackluster.
you mean it was?
We all know why. Yeah, it was bad. It was boring, I should say. So I think we know why that is. So we're kind of cutting them a little bit of the slack, but it really wasn't that good.
Yeah. I think people were being a little bit hard on it. Like, I still think it was...
I was still good, but it's just...
Maybe subpar is the best word, but I don't think it was bad.
Okay.
A lot of people have been saying, COVID, but we're in year 2 of COVID, and I know that COVID has a lot of problems or whatever. It caused a lot of problems for all the dev companies, but it's like, it feels like even if they're still working remotely, they should have been able to recover from that by now. I don't know.
Correct.
Maybe that's my hick opinion, but I don't know. But I really liked Microsoft's presentation. I thought Nintendo's was good, not great, but passable. I will admit Square Enix's was horrible.
We're going to talk about that here in a bit. That one, ooh, that boils my blood.
And I will say, Sony not being at A3, as much as I kind of like detest some of Sony's practices these days, it does leave a big hole.
Well, yeah, because you got everybody else, Nintendo, Microsoft doing it. What the hell, Sony? Are they just too good for E3?
Apparently. Sony thinks they're too good for everybody.
Yeah, and then it's going to piss everybody off, but okay.
Yeah. But I still enjoyed it. It was not, like, E3 is gamers' Christmas. Like, every year I get excited and watch the shows and,
Yeah, Christmas where we just got sweaters this time.
and socks.
Yes, this is bullshit.
Hey, I like socks, so.
That's why I said sweaters.
Right. So let's go ahead and I know it's been like 4+ weeks since we did news. We're going to be like trying to cover the biggest stories from these few weeks, focusing on the more recent stuff first. Not all of it's going to be E3, but we'll just see what we come up with here. But first off, this was debatably the biggest thing Nintendo announced. Well, not announced.
I think it was the biggest thing in E3 period.
It could
be.
Or
one of the biggest things.
I think it depends on your opinion. So Nintendo finally showed another trailer for Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which we still don't have an official title for. And they said they are aiming to release it in 2022, which is kind of a scary statement because aiming means like no promises.
Yeah, but Nintendo's pretty good about that stuff, though. They're pretty good about not over-promising on release dates. Mm-hmm. They're pretty, good about it, getting it in there and saying, okay, it's going to release. We're hoping 2022. They didn't say that it was. They're, keeping it pretty coy with everything, but I'm hopeful. Maybe I'll have it beat by that time.
Well, we still don't know the story, really. The trailer gave us a few more hints. We know that at least the gimmick this time seems to be that parts of Hyrule have been ripped up into like sky islands. So maybe a connection to Skyward Sword. It looked pretty cool. The one thing that's really stood out to me was there was it looked like Link has a new ability to like go through walls, kind of. There was a shot where he goes
Link
from like under a rock island, a floating rock island to the top. Did you watch the trailer?
Nope. Well, I did not.
I don't blame you because like it didn't really spoil anything per se, but I don't know. I just think you should experience the first one.
Well, that's why I decided to buy that. And so I was like, you know what? Fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this thing.
It looks cool. I will say there were a lot of people that were hopeful that Zelda would be playable based on the first trailer for the game. And, we don't know anything for sure about this game yet, but based on the beginning of this trailer, it kind of seems like that's probably not the case.
Now, Zelda's the guy with the green hat, right?
Nailed it. Yep, that's it.
Yep, totally. Please, I'm kidding. Please do not torch me, everybody. I know.
Oh, you're getting torched.
Yeah, I know who Zelda is.
Right. no matter what happens with it, I'm sure it's going to be a fucking amazing game just based on what happened with Breath of the Wild 1. I think some people were maybe disappointed about the 2022 release date. I think some people still had high hopes that it was still coming this year. But
I mean, seriously, it's June, so
I was
2022 is not that far off.
Else about it, because like the game was announced like a year and a half ago or something like that. So, and then we didn't get anything else about it. But alas, yeah, that was. In the interest of moving on, I could talk about Zelda all day. Let's go ahead and move to the next story. All right, and then another like RPG thing Nintendo announced is Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which is coming on December 3rd. So this is a remake of Advance Wars 1 and 2. This shocked me. I've never personally played an Advance Wars game, but I know it was kind of like a cult hit type series for Nintendo. The series has been around since the Famicom, but like I remember the Game Boy Advance games were what a lot of people talked about when I was a kid. And so we haven't really had an Advance Wars since I think like the early DS days, maybe something like that. And so this is like a left field thing from Nintendo. I watched the footage. I wasn't like too impressed by it, but I think, it's a tactical RPG. I think this is something Corey would really be into. Any thoughts on this, Rich?
I don't know about the series, so I don't have a thought on it, unfortunately. I know some people were excited. They were like, oh my God, was not expecting this. And that's pretty much all I got out of it.
Yeah. Who knows? I might end up playing this, but I thought it was really cool. Like, this is one of the, even though it wasn't like really a thing for me as a fan, this is like just an example of something that Nintendo announced as like kind of out of left field, like nobody expected this type deal. And before we move on, I just want to mention real quick, probably my most hyped thing from E3 was Metroid Dread. That's not an RPG. I can't find a way to make it an RPG, but that's.
I'm a little pissed. I'm a little pissed that I missed out the opportunity on the collector's edition because I was going to do it.
You're not a Metroid fan, are you?
I don't care, but I want one. I could be.
I love Metroid, dude. And
maybe I was going to get it for you for Christmas. I don't know.
I actually kind of panicked because I missed it too. But then even the amiibo I missed, and of how me and my amiibo. But I managed to pre-order both from Amazon Japan. I ended up paying like extra for shipping.
Jesus.
But I got them. So it's got that steelbook. I gotta have that steelbook. And the amiibo.
You can't even read it. You can't even read it if it's in Japanese. Or can you read Japanese?
Well, it's region free. So.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Then you're good.
I love Metroid, dude. Like, I love it.
I know. So I got you the canon.
That was Mega Man.
No, I got you Mega Man. Damn it. That's what I was trying to get you was that. Mm-hmm. I was trying to get you that canon from them.
I even like the, I don't know if this is a weird opinion or whatever, but I like Metroid Prime a lot too, but I prefer the 2D games. So to have like a 2D game that came out, I think it's been like 15 years since we had a mainline 2D game. So we've been waiting. And that last game, Fusion, ended with a cliffhanger, kind of. So it was like, oh, thank God. Never expected this. All right. But Metroid's not an RPG. So let's move on.
All right. So here's something that was such a kick in the face letdown that no one, as far as I can tell, cares about. But it's news. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy revealed, releasing October 26th by Square Enix because Marvel's Avengers was such a big hit.
Okay, so you sound like you're pretty negative about this.
Yes, because I don't give a shit about it because they did not do a good job with the Marvel's Avengers. Like they even came out and said that this was a loss. They took a loss on it.
A huge loss.
Yeah.
Thank
my
God
question is,
seven remakes the same year.
I don't know why they're doing this again. Like I'm not happy about it because these resources could have went to something else. This is like, what was that? That Regina girl from Mean Girls is like, quit trying to make Marvel's Avengers happen. Like a lot of people that I talk to that don't want it. They're like, why are we doing this? Like I get it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. We're still riding the hype of the MCU. No, I don't. Okay. I don't like this because those resources could have been spent to either Final Fantasy 16 or this other thing we're going to talk about here in a minute, or some other things, or new IPs or whatever. But I don't understand why Square Enix keeps putting out like junk IPs, like Ballin's World or whatever, tanked hard.
Oof.
Marvel's Avengers tanked hard.
I could talk for a while about Bellin, so don't bring that up.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, that's why I just don't understand. People are like, and I've seen so many covers. So Square Enix had a 30-minute live stream about their stuff, right?
I don't think
how much of it.
I don't think it was quite 30 minutes, but I think
how much of it was Marvel's.
I think the Guardians of the Galaxy was like flirting with 20 minutes, if it wasn't 20 minutes.
Where everything else, like we got a glimpse of Final Fantasy 16. And then we cut right back to Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. You got a little bit of this other thing we're going to talk about here in a minute, but I just don't. Okay. I don't like that they wasted the resources. I think it looks good. You know, the people that made this stuff, the programmers and developers and everything, did a great job. Like, I'm not dogging them. I think it's poor decision on Square Enix management teams.
Okay, I see where you're coming from more now, because I was going to say, am I excited about the game? Not particularly, but I did think that it looked like it might turn out to be a good game.
It might.
It looked decent to me.
Yeah, so did Avengers, though.
That's true. Avengers got fucked up because they decided, I don't know when they decided this, but to turn it into like a looter type online thing. I've heard that the main story campaign of Avengers is decent. Like, worth playing, but
I might have to actually play it. I have it. I might need to play it at some point, but I just don't. I think they wasted the resources on this new one. They should have just been like, okay, we're not going to do this unless, because of COVID, they already had this thing ready to go and they were finishing it up, because this release date's pretty close. Mm-hmm. That they're like, well, shit, we don't have anything else really to show besides this.
Well, the IP is one of the hugest in the world, right? Like
Marvel.
Yeah, it's hard to have a bigger IP than this right now. So Square probably sees this as their golden goose, and they can't
failed.
They can't fuck it up again.
I mean, if they do, what's Marvel going to do? Pull it from them and go, sorry, stop. You're tarnishing our name.
It was kind of funny because Nintendo's presentation was like the day after Square Enix's, I believe.
Yeah.
And Nintendo had a segment about Guardians also coming to Switch, and then they also showed a Life is Strange trailer for those games coming to Switch, which Square also did. And it was just like, okay, we're going to spend 10 minutes of our Nintendo Direct on shit we literally just watched yesterday.
Yep. Is Guardians coming to Switch?
Yeah. Yes, but I think it came out a few days later that it's through like the cloud gaming streaming thing.
Oh, that thing?
Yeah, which is
okay.
Which is Switch.
But they just announced the damn Pro Switch and be done with it.
I really thought that was. It kind of sounded like we were going to find out about that before E3, but
yeah.
Now that Breath of the Wild 2 is confirmed for next year, I'm kind of
that's what's going to happen. They're going to be like, well, we'll just wait.
Yeah. Because I think the Breath of the Wild 2 was like what everybody thought was going to be like the killer app for the Switch Pro. So I don't know. We'll see.
Lame.
But yeah.
I'm done talking about this. It just pisses me off.
We'll see what happens with Guardians. I think it could be worth playing. We just need to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
All right. So Square Enix also announced Babylon's Fall, which is something that I don't even remember, even though I watched that trailer. So it looks like it is kind of like an online thing. Is that what you were telling me, Rich?
It's supposed to be a live service title with co-op and multiplayer capabilities, is what I'm reading. Think Destiny. And then, did you play Godfall?
No, but
it was on the launch title.
Yeah, I remember now.
It looks like that.
Huh.
It's like if those two had a baby and they just abandoned it.
Yeah. Oh, I remember now. This was the Platinum Games' thing. Their new thing.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't convinced. It's all coming back to me now. I remember thinking it didn't look particularly special.
No.
Oh,
I see
shit.
I see Mabu.
He has delivered us liquids.
He delivered you. He didn't deliver me anything.
Shit. Do a good episode.
It's cutting out really
To a good episode. I got water.
Take it so he has less editing.
We were 2 stories away from the break.
Sorry.
He was close.
Sorry, Rich.
No. I love seeing Corey. So yeah, no, it just looks like Babylon. Babylon 5, or not Babylon 5. That's a TV show. Babylon's Fall looks like Godfall and Destiny had a baby, as far as I can tell.
But with like Platinum Games style near combat.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't really have a lot else to say about this. It might be a
It's
good
too
game.
early.
It didn't impress me from the trailer though.
No.
Or at least it didn't. Obviously, it didn't leave a lasting impression on me.
Nope.
So, I actually just remembered this. I don't think we have it listed as a story here. Do you remember seeing that news about Eiyuden Chronicle? The Kickstarter Suikoden?
Yes, I did. I don't remember too much about it though.
It looked cool to me. Like it looked like it's coming along well.
Yeah, but that was a Kickstarter game, wasn't it? And then
Yeah.
they're doing some extra stuff with it now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that was what I was going to bring it up. They're doing like a spin-off game too now. And it's like, dude, come on. You are a Kickstarter game. Don't be making spin-offs yet. You haven't even confirmed that this first one is going to work out, you know?
So they took the extra money that was given to them. It's like, oh shit, we got this extra money. What do we do with it? Let's make a spin-off game. We haven't finished the main game. Screw it. Just do it.
Yeah. Regardless, though, I will say it looks really cool.
Yes.
And it seems like they are following through on their promises, you know, making it a good game. And I think I meant to back it myself, and I just ran out of time. Like I was not quick enough to it. But I think Colin said he would give me his code if I flirted with him enough. So
do it.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we brought that up because that was like a pretty big RPG thing that happened that we almost missed here.
Okay. So this was something that was teased about like a week or two before the launch of E3.
I think we even talked about it when the first rumor came out, didn't we?
Basically.
Yeah.
So it has been announced, a new Final Fantasy game based in the FF1 world with the feels of Dark Souls. So this is Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. So
I meant to prepare a drop for like, I want to kill chaos.
Yeah, what the hell? What is that? It's like all of a sudden it's like Fast and Furious. Do you know about family? This is about family. Now it's going to be about chaos. Fight chaos.
Okay, so before you saw the trailer, remind me, what were your feelings about this rumor? Like a Final Fantasy Dark Souls based in the world of FF1?
I mean, made by the team of Ninja, the Ninja people. Mm-hmm. They made Dissidia, not Dissidia.
Right.
I thought, oh great, this is something that they tried and did really well in Japan, but it did not do very well over here.
I feel like that's not totally fair. It's true that Dissidia NT was kind of a dumpster fire, the console version anyway, but they do make good games. Yeah,
I mean they do. But the biggest tagline, according to Tetsuya Nomura, the daddy of Final Fantasy, or one of the stepdaddy or whatever, feels different, and there's no doubt that the blood of Final Fantasy runs through its veins. So, I mean, I've seen some gameplay and I've seen some stuff with it. I just don't know yet. I don't. I'm gonna buy it because it's Final Fantasy, but I don't know. Like, it's just.
I don't reckon you played the demo, right?
Not yet. I need to. No, I missed it. Shit. Oh, well.
I'm not going to dwell on this forever because I feel like, we're a week late to the E3 discussions. But
well, I mean, yeah. But still.
I thought it could potentially be cool, was not impressed by that trailer at all. Like, that trailer was a huge letdown for me.
They looked odd. The characters and the design itself looks like it's not fleshed out enough. Like, I like the diversity of it. I mean, but who are these people? What it is? I don't understand.
Jack looks like a trailer park version of Core from 15.
Yeah.
The pink-haired dude looks like Prompto with pink hair.
Yeah.
And then you got the black guy, which, like, I mean, that's cool that we got, more representation.
It looks like a black guy Gladios.
Yeah, kind of, actually, with dreads.
Yeah. I mean, he's cool looking. That's fine. I mean, they're all just plain Jane.
And here's the thing. I think the exciting thing about this rumor for me was that it was based in the world of FF1. And from that trailer, the only thing FF1 I got out of that was like, okay, Chaos, obviously, the final boss. But, and Garland. Garland looked like Garland.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was like, this might as well not even be a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, why do I care about it? Like, why should I care?
And the Warrior Elite design that Amano did that we've seen in Dissidia and other spinoffs since then, the crazy blue, yellow armor with the red horns and all that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just FF1 is a very colorful game. And it's drab. It's dark. It might end up being a good game, but I wasn't excited in the first place, but it was a letdown even from what I was hoping for,
It's not even done. It's based on my understanding. This demo isn't even going to be the final. Like, this whole thing could look totally different. Think of it this way. Remember Final Fantasy 15 where like the guy that was doing the voice acting for Noctis is not the same person anymore. Like, they've changed things up. So this demo, what they've done most likely will not be the same when we get the actual game. And knowing Final Fantasy and Square Enix, the sucker's not going to be released till 2023.
Well, they did ask for feedback. I think the purpose of the demo was to like get a temperature check on how everybody was feeling about it. And
yeah,
I'm assuming it's going to be mostly negative.
Maybe. I've seen some people say it looks fun or is fun.
Yeah, I've heard some people say that they liked it from the demo.
Yeah, and if you did enjoy it, that's great. I mean, I would love to know what you thought was fun about it and everything.
And I would like to play it. It's just like I'm so not interested at this point. It's like I can't carve that time out,
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, I'm not really that interested in it.
Mm-hmm. There has been an interview in the past few days where I believe Nomura said something along the lines of, it's not the world of FF1. It's inspired by FF1 or something like that.
Then why the friggin' heck are you talking about that?
Yeah.
Why is Chaos? Why is who's the main guy out of that one?
Garland.
Why is Garland in it?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. Dude, as the years go on, we could do a whole episode about this. Like, I am liking Nomura less and less.
Yeah, I think he's insane.
Yeah.
They should bring back Sakaguchi for all this stuff. And he needs to come back and clean house and go, all you people, you're done.
All right.
You've taken my baby and just destroyed it.
I think he's a genius, but also maybe at this point a mad genius.
He's gone insane.
Before we break here, I got to ask you real quick while I'm thinking about it. Have you played FF7 Remake episode intermission, Yuffie, whatever?
I've been playing it a little bit. I haven't played too much of it. I like it.
You haven't finished it?
Not yet.
Okay.
I like it. I'm just, okay.
I beat it, so I should have mentioned that above, but.
How dare you? I'll probably try this weekend to beat it, but I want Final Fantasy. I need part 2. Like, I need it bad.
We could probably do an episode on episode Yuffie, honestly, once you finish it. Maybe like a mini review or something, since it's a mini.
Sure.
Yeah. That'd be great.
I just need it. I need it. I'm itching. Everybody else is.
All right. So I guess we're more than halfway into the episode, but let's go ahead and take a quick break here, shall we?
Nothing in this world can prepare you for this. You have been chosen by the Elder Gods as a representative of Earthrealm to record in the podcast of the century. Every season, the best podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. On the latest season, of Podcasters Assemble. With the imminent release of the latest highly anticipated Mortal Kombat film, we're taking a look back at all the movies and games of the Mortal Kombat franchise. Choose your mic. Together, you will be facing off against a gauntlet of films. 1995's Mortal Kombat, 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation, 2020's Mortal Kombat Scorpion's Revenge, and finally, this year's release of Mortal Kombat in theaters and on HBO Max on Friday, April 23rd, 2021. Go to probablywork.com for more information on how to submit to this or future seasons of the show and listen to the latest episodes of Podcasters Assemble. Mortal Podcast!
Okay, we are back, and we are continuing the news coverage that we are so far behind on. So this next one is a story from Bethesda. Why did I say it like that?
I don't know.
Okay, so
you okay?
I'm dying. No, this is Starfield. So Bethesda announced this game, and apparently this is something that has been slipping under my radar. It's like something that was announced a while ago, and people have been excited for it. It's like a space game. You play as this woman in space, and I don't really have a lot to say about it because, like I said, I wasn't really following the story. But they showed more of the game finally, and then it turned out that it's only coming to Xbox.
Which should not disappoint people.
Dun dun! Like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Xbox owns Bethesda. This is... I don't know. In my opinion, this is stupid. This whole discourse about Bethesda games only coming to Xbox. Does it suck for people that don't own Xboxes? Yes. They've been playing Bethesda games for years on other consoles and elsewhere. But it's Xbox bought them. This is how the free market works.
That's how the world's been. I mean, think of it this way. Xbox didn't have a Final Fantasy game until 13 came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Like, I almost bought a PlayStation 3 to play Final Fantasy 13 because I knew it wasn't going to come to Xbox. And they made the announcement like, oh, it's coming to Xbox. Didn't have to do anything. But, okay, Sony boys, you know, people freaking out about this. You've got Spider-Man, Last of Us, Days Gone. The list goes on.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world.
I hate to say it, but this run around the console generation lap, I am like starting to simp Xbox a little bit more than Sony. I just think Sony's made some bad decisions this time around, and I'll always enjoy the Sony exclusives more, but like Xbox got that Game Pass, and it seems like they understand gamers a little bit better, and I'm like, Sony, you're losing me.
What's cracking me up is like, okay, so you remember when the PlayStation 3 came out and it was not the best? People were like, okay, it takes forever. And Xbox 360 came out and people were like, oh my God, this is awesome. There's a lot of people that jump ship. I jumped ship and I went to Xbox. Started playing Halo and do all this stuff.
But
yeah.
The 360 and the PS3 were awesome.
Yeah, we all jumped ship. And then the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, everybody switched from Xbox One to PlayStation 4. And then now here we go again.
And the Xbox One was terrible. I mean,
yeah.
I have one. I enjoy it. But in comparison, the PS4 was king.
Yeah.
So, I think the game, as far as Starfield, I think it looks cool. I think it's something to keep an eye on, and it might be a game I potentially will enjoy and pick up, depending on how it all plays out. And the argument I've seen about it is that the people that are like so mad about it have been like, what about loyalty? And
oh my God, seriously, just buy, if you have a problem with this, buy an Xbox, or better yet, buy a PC where you can play that, because if Xbox is a Game Pass, can you play it on PC?
Yeah. And I'm sure these games will come to PC eventually.
Yeah.
Just like all of Square's games. But
just chill out.
Yeah. No big deal. It's just one game.
Duh. Okay, so this one's kind of cool. I'm actually excited for this one. So I know we've been kind of like droll and negative Nancy's all over this episode, but I'm excited for this one. Diablo 2 Resurrected gets street date. So it's going to come September 2nd or September 23rd. So we got to see a little more details on it. I personally like Diablo 3. I have it on my Switch. I think it's going to come on Switch as well. I'm going to get it for that. I enjoy the series. What about you, Scott?
Never played one.
Okay, how dare you?
First of all, how dare you?
Yeah, it's an RPG. Get on the level here. Let's go. We can play together. But anyway,
Be honest,
so
Rich, you remember how I was talking about how I liked the Xbox conference?
yeah,
The Diablo 2 Resurrected trailer. First of all, I didn't know what I was looking at while I was watching it because I've never played Diablo 2. But that was the first game trailer during that show where I was like, I am totally uninterested in this. This is the most boring thing they've shown so far.
I'm gonna quit the show. I want to be done.
What are you gonna do?
You're nothing. So okay. Yeah, some people like it, some people don't. I think the story was good in the third one. Like the third game was my first entry into the series. So there's a lot of things I missed because a lot of the lore and stuff connects. I'm looking forward to it because I know it's going to be a fun game. They do have a Diablo 2 Resurrected. It will be available as a standalone experience. They're thinking about $40 or as part of the Diablo Prime Evil Collection, which suggests a $60 deal. That would include Diablo 2 Resurrected, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, which has Diablo 3's Reaper of Souls, and then Rise of Necromancer, and then having a Mephisto pet, Hater Grasp Wings for Diablo 3. So they're kind of like doing a collection piece of it. I think it's going to be fun. It's a Blizzard game. Don't like the company, but sometimes they make good things.
The eternal struggle of a woke gamer.
Yeah, it's also like I like Chick-fil-A's chicken. I don't really like Chick-fil-A as a company.
Right.
Did you get that constructed or you get that conflictedness of you? But so, yeah. So stay tuned for that one. If you guys are really interested in the Diablo series, if you really enjoy that stuff, it's coming to Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox One, Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and then PC as well through the Battle.net system. So, yep, that's pretty much it.
Let me ask you this before we move on. You played the original Diablo 2, right?
No,
No?
I missed it.
Okay.
I did not. But I know it's a little bit rough. There's a challenge to it. It's a little grindy.
Well, no, I think it's I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's a very, very famous game. Like, but I was just going to ask you if, based on watching the trailer for the Resurrected, like how much improved it looks and all that shit. But
I've seen side-by-sides of the original versus this one. This one looks a lot better, which has me curious if they're just going to go backwards now and then eventually do the number one, Diablo 1, Arise or whatever it's called.
Maybe.
I don't know, nickname it or something. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fun. We'll see.
yeah, you'll have to keep me posted.
Yeah.
Okay, so this actually happened a couple of days or so before E3, if I remember right. But we finally got a new trailer for Elden Ring. This is the Souls game that looked like it was more medievalish than most Souls game, and it was being written or helped by George R.R. Martin. And I know a lot of people are super, super, super hyped about this game. And it's been years since we got any substantial update on it or something like that. So we got a new trailer. Lord of the Rings meets Dark Souls. Did you watch it, Rich?
I did. And plus at GameStop, they play it a lot.
Oh, do they?
So,
So what do you think?
So I said this to somebody at GameStop, and they were like, I find this very offensive, but you're not wrong. So Lord of the Rings meets Dark Souls.
Yeah.
It looks like I have not personally played a Dark Souls game or Demon Souls or whatever. My brother has, and he really likes them. They're challenging. I don't like to be punished that much.
I just have no interest. Like
I don't.
I sort of have an interest just because I know so many people that love these Soulsborne games. But I'm just like, Dude, I don't think it's for me, yo.
It's definitely not for me. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it. Maybe I won't. I just, yeah. With George R. Martin, there's probably going to be some floppy penises flowing around.
Okay,
You know,
well, hang
style.
on. Maybe I.
Yeah.
No.
You're like, hold up. You've got my attention. No, we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of people that are really excited for this. Not dogging that. I would love to hear the take back, or I'd love the feedback from when this game does release from our community to see if that's something that, you know, we should poke around and look at. And if there's floppy penises. I've seen a little bit of Game of Thrones. I've been hit with a couple penises in my face. I've seen them on the show.
Most of the penises were in like, and most of the nudity was in the first couple seasons, other than very specific scenes.
Just like bam, like I'm watching it. And my wife comes in like, "What are you watching? Game of Thrones?"
Yeah, but we'll continue to
not a
cover
porno.
Elden Ring. It's too big of a game not to.
Yeah,
for the time being, anyway.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead.
So this one here, this happened prior to E3. There was an update that came out from Square Enix, renames all the mobile Final Fantasy games to say 3D Remake on some of them. Like if I'm looking correctly, I got to go off my phone here and see if it did announce a few of them. Final Fantasy 3 got a remake. It said remake on it, and then
3 and 4 had
3 and 4
the remake title added.
Do I have 4? Yeah, I've got 4. It didn't do that on this one. Maybe an update. That's weird. But yeah, so they've been announced that, which then leads into, did I have the name right on that? Pixel Final Fantasy?
Pixel Final Fantasy remaster something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the fact that all the 2 3D remake games had the remake added to their title on mobile, like, you know, so many years later, people are like, what's going on with this? Square Enix is about to do something. I kind of thought at the time, you know, they announced that Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, akin to like the Octopath art style.
Yeah.
That made me think, okay, maybe they're doing something like that for some of these games, and they just want to like bring their titles in line and like make it very clear to the consumers. And then we also had the rumor before it was even announced that they were doing like some kind of remastered collection of 1 through 6.
Yeah.
And then it got announced.
It was not that at all.
Yeah, not even.
It was this Pixel Final Fantasy. So again, we're getting the same games.
Yeah.
When they were first released.
So basically it's, first of all, I don't think it's a collection. I think they're going to be sold separately. I could be wrong about that. But like, really? But that's not even the worst part. It's kind of the worst part. But then it came the announcement that for mobile and Steam. Nobody wanted it for mobile or Steam. Okay, some people probably want it for mobile or Steam.
Like
but,
what, the 10 people that wanted it?
Yeah. Like all those games, more or less, are already on those platforms. And then
I have them.
Here's the third, you know, punch in the dick. The art style looks worse than other versions.
Again, waste of resources.
Yeah, you know, we had those beautiful PSP versions of 1 and 2 and 4, and then 6 already looked amazing on SNES.
Yep.
The new art style only looks very slightly better than the 5 and 6 mobile ports that everybody hates the art style of. And it's like you have to have like a side-by-side comparison of the sprites to even tell that it's not the same sprites as those mobile versions. I don't know. This just feels like one of the biggest disappointments I can remember in gaming news, for me anyway, in recent history. Maybe
wasting.
Maybe even not recent history.
Yeah, they just waste. I mean, seriously, who comes up with this crap? Who decides in these marketing places or the business development in Square Enix says, you know what we could do, guys? The community has been begging us for a collection of Final Fantasy 6 or Final Fantasy 1 through 6. They've been doing these things. Let's do this. It's great. And somebody on the side's like, well, why don't we just change it a little bit and recharge everybody? Genius. Should be kicked in the dick.
I don't know, dude. Like this, I could not believe. And on top of all this, this is something that a lot of people were really excited to find out about. You know, if it was true. And then Square Enix does the trailer. This was right after the 20-minute Guardians trailer.
Blah.
Literally like 16 seconds, I think was the trailer for this. And then they went back to Avengers to talk about the Black Panther thing. Oh man, like this is such a big I know that I probably sound like a hater right now, but
We love Square Enix. We do.
I love these games.
They're disappointing us right now. This is like terrible. I don't understand. This is not getting socks and sweaters for Christmas. This is getting coal.
I'm not a game programmer, but it cannot be that hard to remake all 6 of these games. Not even remake. Like, get them in a consistent art style that's pretty and make them fun. Like, I mean, the Final Fantasy Record Keeper, you know, that mobile game that I play all the time, they've already got all the main Final Fantasy characters in the same art style, which is like the beautiful Final Fantasy VI sprite work. Mm-hmm. And so use those. They've even made a lot of the background assets already in Record Keeper. Like it.
Well, and we know a lot of programmers out there that also do game development. I'm pretty sure we could probably talk to them and they would say, this is not that hard.
Yeah.
So you could probably do a group of 10. There's people on Kickstarter trying to get their game launched that do a better job than this.
And, you know, maybe they will, but why not bring it to Switch? Why not put it on consoles? I don't understand the reasoning.
Because they hate everything. They're just pissing us off. This is the Final Fantasy VII debacle all over again. Let's put it on Nintendo, and then no, we're not going to do that. We go to Sony, and then that's all that crap.
It's honestly almost depressing to think about. About this.
It's like Square Enix it's like Square Enix is trying to abandon Final Fantasy in all senses. You know, they've gone to Mana, they've gone to Dragon Quest, they've gone to Saga, they've gone on to what else? There's another titles that they've gone. It's just like they're Final Fantasy. It's been played out. It's the one thing that's made you money.
Right.
So why are you doing that?
7 Remake kept them from having a terrible fiscal year last year. And, because of, the remake versus Avengers. But, yeah.
We didn't forget that. We know. There was an article about it, Square Enix. Don't try to hide that.
In fairness, I will say it looks like they are adding a few new features to these games. I think...
What, quick save?
There was, quick save. I think there was a screenshot where they've added like a world map overlay to a couple of the early games that didn't have them before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But,
you're just pissing me off.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's very disappointing for me. I could do a whole episode about this. Before we move on, I think this is a very fitting comment. Gravity in the Discord or in the Twitch chat. Hi, Gravity. Says, today I learned my modded controller can survive being thrown into a wall, but the wall can't. That was me when I learned about the Final Fantasy Pixel Collect. No. All right. We'll talk about this more later. Maybe they'll surprise us and it's not as bad as it seems, but goddamn. Okay, and then our final news story, unless I find something else. This was not E3. This came out
This is 2 days ago.
Yeah, very recently. Apparently, there is a Final Fantasy IX animated TV show being worked on. And the weird thing about this is it has not been confirmed or denied by Square Enix.
I'm kind of for it.
Well, it seems like there's been enough corroborations between different news sites that this is like a real thing. It's being made by a French production company, Cyber Group Studios, and here's the concerning part for me. Apparently it's being aimed at 8 to 13-year-olds.
And now I'm done.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Okay, so of all the Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy IX has, I would say, its art style could possibly be one of the most suited to a anime adaptation or whatever. Maybe because it's got like a cartoony art style from the get-go. And to be honest, I think any of the mainline Final Fantasies could probably be turned into a decent anime. But Nine's story, despite its art style, is not particularly kid-friendly.
Yeah, I didn't think it was. I mean, there's
like a lot of-
kidnapping
There's
and
like a lot
death.
of death and destruction. The fan favorite character Vivi, like his whole plot line is existentialism about whether or not he's a real person. I wasn't thinking about that at 12.
No, at 12, I want to think about my Pokemon cards that I can't get a hold of.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
It could just be like a weird statement by somebody who doesn't understand what they're talking about, but I will say, in an ideal world, a Final Fantasy IX anime show sounds awesome to me. Like in my head, like what that could turn out to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is great, but if they target it just for that young demographic, it might not be that good and live up to the fans that actually like the series. Because I think I got that when I was like 14.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
That's a good point. Like when we played Final Fantasy IX, we probably were around the upper bracket of that age group, and I enjoyed it. I loved it.
Yeah, but I didn't understand it back then. I understand it now.
Do we understand it now? Even?
I mean, a little bit. I mean, Vivi, it's like we get to understand, like, okay, so now it's like with the title screen, if you let it go play through and it has like little emotions attached to each character of what they're supposed to be. I never understood that. I mean, years ago, then I was like, oh my God.
What's
does
more
that mean?
What's more interesting though is like Final Fantasy IX of all things. It's not like there's much hype for Final Fantasy IX. I will say Final Fantasy IX has recovered over the years.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's now a low-key fan favorite. I think a lot of people really, really love it.
Uh-huh. And I've been toting that horn forever.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I said it was good.
It's a good game.
Believe me.
It's a great
Yeah.
game even. It's not one of my favorites, but I still think it's a great game.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, what if they'd have picked 8? Like, that's a really dark one, too, if you think about it.
Now that you say that, maybe some of the games would not make a good animated series.
Yeah, 8 wouldn't. 7.
7 would. It would take like 5
They
seasons to
got
get
some
through.
stuff. Yeah, it would take a long time. I mean, okay, speaking of 7, before we talk about any other news, I don't know how true it is, but I thought I saw a scene or some director, they ran out of time. They were going to put a pole dancing scene in the Honeybee for Final Fantasy R Remake.
I was kind of holding
thought I
back
saw
on
that
this
somewhere.
because you hadn't finished episode Yuffie yet, but basically...
Oh my God, no.
I'm not going to spoil anything, I promise. But part of
Is
this
there a
interview,
pole dance?
No.
Okay.
Part of this interview, the same interview that you're talking about, apparently they said that expect future parts of the remake to differ significantly, quote unquote significantly, from
Why?
the original game. And it's just like, okay, well, we kind of expected this, right? Based on
Yeah, I mean, we did, but we don't need it to go that far.
We even had a prediction episode about how crazy it was going to get.
Okay,
But,
I know. Okay, so this one, we know Aerith's not going to die in this one. We know that.
Maybe.
Maybe not till later,
Yeah.
but not where she normally dies. Or maybe, I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, we don't want to go down that hole.
We'll see. The ending of episode Yuffie provides even more fodder for crazy theorizing. So just
Oh,
wait.
son of a bitch. I mean, Jay needs to play it too now.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that's all I have to say about the Final Fantasy IX animated show. But I think that's our last news article finally. There's more that we're forgetting about because it has been a month since we recorded an episode. But yeah, that's the recent shit. Lots of shit going on, Rich.
Lots of shit. A lot of crap. So let's kind of talk about the RPGs that were released in the last few weeks. We've got several, that we've kind of missed. So we're going to go back to the beginning of June. So bear with me on this one.
You got this.
So I got this. I can read, hopefully. Anima, The Reign of Darkness in PC. That was June 1st. World of Warcraft Burning Crusade Classic PC, June 1st.
What is that?
I think that's the remake of the original part of World of Warcraft. So it's the next expansion.
Oh, okay.
It's like they're going back and redoing the game, or re-releasing the classic parts of World of Warcraft and releasing the other stuff. The more
People
modern.
hated the classic thing, right?
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Me and you aren't really that hip to
No.
those. Grifflands PC June 1st, exiting early access. So that one's going to be full-fledged. The Elder Scrolls Online, Blackwood, that's PS5, PS4, Xbox Series S and X, Xbox One, PC, Stadia, June 1st. PC on June 8th, or maybe I'm wrong. When it's coming out. Okay. It's already been out. The Last Spell, PC, and June 3rd, entering early access. Conglomerate, 451 Overload. That was a big word.
That's a title.
Yeah. PS4, Xbox One, Switch for June 3rd. Why is Grifflands again on there? Oh, that's okay, because it's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch June 4th, so 3 days after the PC launch. Lost Epics, PC, June 5th, entering early access. Edge of Eternity, PC, June 8th. That game's popped up a lot.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard some shit about that game.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Somebody in our community tell us what that game is.
We are terrible RPG podcast hosts.
Yeah, there's so many. Neptunia, Reverse, PS5, June 8th in North America and June 11th in Europe. Seriously. Phantasy Star Online 2, New Genesis. Is this that MMO?
Yeah.
Okay, Xbox S, Xbox, and PC.
I think there's a conglomerate of people that were really, really excited about this.
Yay.
I think it's like a remake or like a re-release of something, the original Phantasy Star Online 2, which a lot of people love. But
yeah, okay, I know everybody loves it. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan. I'm sorry. Okay, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, PS5, June 10th. Remember, if you have the PS4 version, you can get an upgrade to the PS5 version for free, but Yuffie's DLC is required to pay for.
I will say real quick, for anybody wondering, in case you don't have a PS5, Yuffie's DLC was good, I would say, but it wasn't great. Like, it's not
YouTube it.
It's not essential. It's if you're heartbroken that you don't have a PS5, don't be. Over this particular Yuffie thing.
And those are the opinions of Scott, not me. Mercenaries Blaze, Dawn of Twin Dragons, PC, June 10th. Wilder Myth, PC, June 15th. That's exiting early access. Dark Deity, PC, June 15th. And RuneScape Mobile, June 17th. I did see that, and I'm curious. I might try that one out. That's a MMO.
Just the original RuneScape is coming to mobile, or is it like a...
Yeah, It's coming to mobile.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so RPGs coming out this coming week. We got Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. That's coming to PS5, 4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC on June 22nd.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting to me. Like, I wonder what these Dungeons & Dragons video games are like, because I was introduced to Dungeons & Dragons during COVID, so. Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. That's coming to Switch and PC on June 22nd, exiting early access. Led by the Sword, Tactics, coming to PC June 23rd. That's entering early access. Empire of Angels 4. How can this series that I've never heard of be on its fourth entry? Anyway, that's coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch June 23rd, and technically the 24th for the Switch. Legend of Mana, that's coming to PS4, Switch, and PC on June 24th. This is this a remake, Rich? I feel stupid right now for not remembering this.
Yes, it is. That was announced at the Nintendo Direct last Nintendo Direct.
Right. Okay. Yeah. We should learn more about Mana now that we're going to have to be talking about it for weeks. But
Yep. We should probably do that. Will we do that? No.
The Dungeon of Nahul, the Amulet of Chaos, is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on June 24th. Scarlet Nexus is coming to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC on June 25th, which I'm excited about. I think we've talked about that a few times on the show before. I think it has the potential to be a really good game, although I have read some early reviews. Apparently, it is a good game, but has room for improvement. And then Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny, is coming to Switch on June 29th.
That's all for you.
No, I think it's actually all for Bill. We actually got a review code for that. believe it or
Oh,
not.
dang.
Bill snagged one. So I think
Bill gets all these things. What the hell? He's not on the show anymore. What is the problem here?
we still keep him around. He's useful.
I know. Just get free shit.
But thanks to NIS for that code. Okay, that brings us to the end of the news. We made it through. It's like a month of news, including E3. And I think we did it in a reasonable time.
Yeah.
But lots of news. E3 was fine for the most part. I think most people are really negative on it. The Final Fantasy shit in general was very disappointing. But I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what shit is coming up.
They need to get on it with Final Fantasy stuff. Like we're waiting. It's been 2 years almost since the launch of it. We need the next Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2.
They'll show it eventually, right?
Yeah, when we're 50.
But I guess let's go ahead and move on to our outro. So now that we're all up to date on all the current events, let's wrap things up here. So Rich, what are we finally doing next week?
We are going to review the awesome game of World of Final Fantasy for the RPG Club, Part 1 and 2.
A game that both Rich and I absolutely adored.
I just loved it so much.
I actually didn't hate it.
It was fine.
I think the beginning of it got my hopes up too high because of the presentation value was so much higher than I was expecting. But anyway, that's probably going to be a two-parter, so it'll take us a couple weeks to get through. And I guess that we'll also have our first. No. The second part of that review will have our first Secret of Mana RPG Club.
Hopefully.
But yeah. So again, as far as the RPG Club goes, we are playing Secret of Mana. Don't have a checkpoint for you yet. Make sure to pay attention to our Twitter and Discord, but just keep in mind that is coming, or that is due on July, right? July 4th. So skip the holidays if you have to.
Yes.
Launch into our plugs.
So, if you liked what we're doing here today, guys, you can rate and review us on wherever you get your podcast. Typically, Apple iTunes is the best place to rate and review us. The more reviews we get, the better chance we get in the algorithm, which generates more people potentially listening to the show. It's a very big snowball effect, so we would greatly appreciate you guys giving us a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the couple of reviews that we've gotten recently. It really helps us out a lot. If you want to get in touch with us outside of the reviews, like say you don't think we're a 5-star show, tell us why we suck, or just episode suggestions or general inquiries, you can email the show, rpgafteryears@gmail.com. Another way to support the show is the Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/rpgafteryears. You can get early episode access. All the episodes are ad-free. You get access to a bunch of extra reviews. We've done well over 20 now, and we've got more in the pipeline. Just need to calm our lives down a little bit. You get the ability to participate in the RPG Club nominations and voting because the RPG Club is for everybody, but our patrons get to help pick what that game is, basically. And there's a lot more benefits out there. Again, you can check all that out, patreon.com/rpgafteryears.
All right. So if you haven't noticed that we are streaming live the episode, generally we stream these episodes live on Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern time at twitch.tv/RPG After Years. I know that's something we've talked about in the past of changing the times up, but as of now, we're going to get back to our Sunday ritual. So please check it out. Go like and subscribe us.
Please do. We're streaming live right now, and it was a fun time hanging out with all the listeners out there. If you want some merch, you want some shirts and shit with our logo or our album art, you can find those at Redbubble. Redbubble.com/people/RPG After Years/explore. Rep your favorite pod out on the streets.
Do it.
Another thing, if you want to hang out with us, we do have a Discord. We get into debates every day. It's fire. It's a lot of fun. You can find the link to that on the show notes or our pinned tweet on Twitter. We would love to see you there. Finally, speaking of Twitter, that's another great way to get in contact with us directly. You can find the show at RPG Years. If you want to get in touch with me, you can find me at the Scott Spot.
If you want to get in touch with Jay, whenever he's around, at JD Hizzle. He's getting a little more productive out there on Twitter. He talks more about the tech side of things and whatnot. He's really passionate about that. So if you want to chat with him, feel free to do that. You can find me at HailBlue1569.
Absolutely. Okay. This felt good to be doing the podcasting again, Rich. I'm glad we're back. Hopefully, with all the craziness in our lives, we'll be able to continue this streak of more than one.
Day since last accident, 1.
I can't wait. Exactly. I can't wait to get back to more E3 or next year's E3 and get back into our role. But yeah, we'll be doing the World of Final Fantasy review next time. That's going to be episode 69. But until then, I'm Scott.
I'm Rich.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.